Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I bring to you the first half of this week in pro wrestling. Now, I was planning on today being my predictions video for Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, which is going on tomorrow at 7. However, considering tonight is the go-home show for Death Before Dishonor, I think I'm going to give it a day and get my predictions up tomorrow. Today I'm going to be doing, covering the weekly stuff. So I'm going to cover Raw, NWA Power, and AEW Dynamite, which you're not going to want to miss this one. So let's start off with Monday Night Raw, which actually hails from Atlanta, Georgia, home of the man who opens the show, Cody Rhodes. Now, the Rhodes family has some good lineage here in Atlanta, both from being there and having a lot of dang good matches there. But he talks about the large shadow Brock Lesnar casts over the arena tonight, considering he's in the building. So he calls out Brock Lesnar for a match at SummerSlam. Now, at first, he doesn't come out. So Cody's like, yeah, you be that coward. I'm going to go canoodle with the fans, and you can decide on your own. So as he's, saying hi to his mother, high-fiving the fans a bit, bum, bum, bum. Brock Lesnar's music hits, but he doesn't come out, a la when Shawn Michaels was in Calgary and fakes out Bret the Hitman Hart's music, which I thought was a pretty nice touch. So then Cody goes up the ramp a little bit, music hits again, Cody's waiting for him, he's ready, right at the entrance stage. He doesn't come out. So Cody goes in the back. We don't exactly see the brawl they're having, but then a chair is thrown on the ramp. Out they both come, with Brock Lesnar kicking Cody's butt. They go back down the ringside in front of Cody's mother, and Brock just hits a couple F5s and a Kimura lock looking to break Cody's arm again, in which you don't need that story again. It's unnecessary. So then Brock gets Cody back in the ring. Another F5. Kimura. And as he's getting up, he leans down to Cody, says, I accept your challenge. See you at SummerSlam. So that match is on for SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes 3. And from what I've been hearing on the internet, we're going to get some kind of stipulation added. Dog collar match. Please be a dog collar match. Anyway, so first match up, we got Matt Riddle taking on Gunther, with the rest of Imperium barred from ringside. And I know I've seen this match before. This match was wildly good, although I do wish it was given a teeny bit more time. But after a floating bro attempt, blocked, powerbomb, your winner, Gunther. And then Gunther, post-match, has a mic. He's up on the announce table, pretty much calls out Drew McIntyre for a match in the future, which, yeah, I'd be okay with that. Next up, we got a Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez backstage interview. They're about to talk about their upcoming tag team title defense when Rhea Ripley interrupts. She takes out Liv Morgan and just starts brawling with Raquel Rodriguez, including a cheap little shot to the leg, which we'll get to that in a minute. Speaking of Rhea, we got a Judgment Day promo in which they say, yeah, Judgment Day is stronger than ever. The past couple of weeks have been nothing but a fake out for you fans. And we're up to great things. Either Priest or Balor are going to be future world champion. I have my women's world championship. And Dom's going to win the NXT North American title. In which, spoiler alert, he does. That's odd. So then out comes Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. With Sami Zayn pretty much saying, yeah, have we been standing here wanting to hear Dom talk? Or are we here for a fight? So then Judgment Day, Priest says, hey, guys, we're ready for our fight for later on tonight. But if you're so confident that you're going to beat us, why don't you put the tag team titles on the line? Kevin Owens pretty much says, yeah, let's do that. So, we got a tag team title match coming up tonight, which we'll get into that. Then we got Raquel Rodriguez update. She's being checked out by doctors. She is cleared to compete by the doctors, but the doctors also want to run some more tests. However, Raquel doesn't want them, so the match is still on. We go right into the women's tag team title match as Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green take on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And entire match, Raquel selling the leg. She's limping all everywhere. She does get some good power spots in, but that leg then becomes a target for the heel team. And after an Unpretty Her, which is a great name for a finisher, a knee to the face to Liv Morgan, your winners and new women's tag team champions, Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. We then get a small interview from them backstage, pretty much saying, yeah, Raquel's injury was faked, and we're ready to run this division. Which, hopefully so, because the women's tag team titles have felt tertiary. Like, they feel so unimportant, and they get traded around all the time. It's frustrating, because I want to like this division. I love tag team wrestling. But for WWE and the women's tag team titles, might be time to retire. So then we get a sit-down interview with Seth Rollins, saying he has got some big future plans for the World Heavyweight title, runs down his list of potential challengers. In comes Finn Balor. He's saying, yeah, that's a great list of superstars, but the line starts with me. And I'm living in the chaos where I take the title, I hurt you, and I take your career like you tried to do to me in 2017 SummerSlam. Which, actually, wow. Then Seth retorts, yeah, we don't need this title to settle the score. We can do it right here, right now, in a fight. So Balor stands up, and then he walks off. Seth starts to apologize to the interviewer and to the staff. Balor comes back in, major chair shots to Seth. Drops the chair, pretty much says to the camera, make the match. And match was made for SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight title. Seth Rollins taking on Finn Balor. And maybe a bit of a spoiler for my predictions. Maybe you put the title on Finn. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been loving Seth Rollins as World Heavyweight Champion. He's been there. He's trying his absolute best to not have this title not feel like a runner-up belt, which is great. But I feel like the Finn Balor story, especially with Priest, with Money in the Bank, would be a more interesting story. Like, that's just me. That's just me. But, yeah, we'll see what happens at SummerSlam. Next up, honestly, best thing on the card, we got the Viking Rules match, which is pretty much Extreme Rules, but with, Viking weapons, like shields and stuff. As we have the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. Boy, have they fallen from grace. Taking on the Alpha Academy. That's Otis and Chad Gable. And honestly, with what little they had to work with in this match, this was the best thing on Raw. Easily. No question. You had table spots. You had, shields being broken 6 ways to Sunday. Big old urine huggy on the where there's the front of a Viking ship attached to the ring, which is a nice little touch. But end of the day, Valhalla gets in the way of Otis, who's going for a top rope splash, which I don't think I've ever seen him hit. That leads to Ragnarok, which is a great finisher name. I do wish it was a little bit more than just a double powerbomb, though. Like, I feel like you could do a little bit more with that. So, your winners, the Viking Raiders. So, hopefully we get to see a little bit more of the Raiders going forward. Maybe they're next up to challenge for the tag titles. Like, it's been a while since these two have challenged for the tag straps. And even if they lose, I think it would be a great match. Next up, we got a very quick matchup. Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. Nikki goes right after Baszler on the word go. And then Shayna gets the Karafuda clutch for the quick victory. Then on the microphone, as she's sitting in the press box, we hear from Ronda Rousey pretty much saying, yeah, you think you got everything to complain about? You went through the front door the right way, while I went through the back door, through UFC, becoming the greatest women's fighter of all time, and then coming to wrestling just to be flattened. And you're just a knockout version of me, which, Shayna Baszler, dang. Then Baszler gets on the mic, pretty much says, hey, even though you're not on the card right now, let's get you down here so I can whoop that butt. Then Ronda pretty much says, no, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to help you, and I'm going to get you on the SummerSlam card. It's going to be you versus me for SummerSlam. See you in the Motor City, which, Baszler versus Rousey. I'm okay with that. Let's make Shayna Baszler a killer again. The only way I'd be okay with this match finishing is a squash match for Baszler. She needs a rebuild in the worst way, and beating Rousey, I think that's step one. Next up, we get a short but sweet Ricochet interview, pretty much running down Logan Paul, pretty much saying, yeah, you live in your own little world. Meanwhile, in this world, I brought the real fight to you, Logan, and you ran. And then Ricochet challenges Logan Paul to show up for Raw next week, in which he will be. Yay. So that's probably going to be leading to a match for SummerSlam, which, sure. We get a Miz TV segment with Becky Lynch, in which on the first mention of Becky's losing streak by Miz, Becky Lynch goes off, she throws the chairs out of the ring, she throttles the Miz, pretty much saying, look, I know how this show is set up, you got some special guest, bring out Trish. And Miz is like, yeah, you kind of ruined the surprise on that, but yeah, brings out Trish and Zoe, who run down Becky a little bit. Becky then pretty much says, yeah, I want a rematch with you, Trish. Trish then says, that's not going to happen. However, I will give you a chance. First thing you got to do, wrestle Zoe Stark. Done. Next, if you lose to Zoe, you got to say, thank you, Trish. Done. Third thing you got to do, get thank you, Trish tattooed on your chest. Which, tattoo stipulation. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Which pretty much Becky said, done. She then drops the mic, and they all brawl for a little bit. And yeah, that ends the segment. So, more than likely we're going to see Trish versus Becky for SummerSlam, in which, that sounds fun to me. Next up, we got another rematch, as it's Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Bronson Reed in what was a pretty even match, including Bronson Reed with the good vibrations, which, that was funny to see. Near the end, as Reed was going for the tsunami, he gets knocked off the top by Tommaso Ciampa, who then starts hitting them until he gets out of the ring. So, your winner by disqualification, Bronson Reed. Post-match, you can see how hard Nakamura is taking this. He then kicks Tommaso Ciampa right in the gut. We then get a nice, short but sweet interview from Nakamura, pretty much saying, I'm tired of everyone getting in my business. Which, I understand completely, Nakamura. Hopefully this is maybe not another turn, but maybe a tweaking of the character, giving Nakamura a bit more of an edge. Which I'm definitely all for. And heck, maybe he hires Bronson Reed as security. I'd be okay with that over Reed and Miz teaming together again. And fine, Alamo for Raw. We got our main event for the WWE Tag Team titles. You got the Judgment Day challenging Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And honestly, this was easily the best match of the night. That wasn't the Viking Rules match. Some really good back and forth. Eventually, Rhea was caught cheating and she was thrown from ringside. Again, still lots of good back and forth. Actually, it was Finn who was thrown from ringside, and Seth actually attacks him and brawls with him up the ramp. Bit later on in the match, Liv Morgan gets involved with Rhea Ripley. They clothesline each other over the into the timekeeper's area. Then we get a stunner to Priest, a haluva kick to Dom Mysterio. Your winners, still WWE Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And what was a hell of a main event. A bit overbooked, but the overbooking kind of made sense. Like, you want to continue the Seth and the Finn feud. And then I've been hearing that the next challenger for Rhea's Women's World title is going to be Raquel Rodriguez. So having Liv come out while Raquel is injured makes sense. Like, maybe I'm giving WWE too much praise, but honestly, it does kind of make sense to me. So, that is Raw. Next up, we go into NWA Power, which we start off in the junior heavyweight division. It's Alex Taylor takes on the returning Colby Corino. This is Colby's first match on Power since his return at the Crockett Cup. And honestly, this was a very well paced, kind of overly fast, but not super fast matchup in which we see Colby Corino hit the Tornado DDT to pick up the victory. So it does look like we're getting Colby Corino challenging Kerry Morton for the junior heavyweight title in the near future, which that'll be a fun one. Next up, we got the NWA television title on the line as Thomas Latimer defends against Mario Pardua. I do hope I'm pronouncing that right. And honestly, this was a nice little back and forth bout. Both guys got enough stuff in. But then after the Brighter Side of Suffering, which is a metal sounding finisher, and the crossface, your winner with just seconds left by submission, Tom Latimer. We then get an interview with the Page sisters, pretty much saying, yeah, with our relationship, we easily have each other's back, we know what each other's thinking. And we know each other, we are each other's ride or die. We then get a nice, interesting Daisy Kill promo inside the ring. Pretty much saying, yeah, we've got a long road ahead of us, but it's going to be an interesting journey. As we got the first matchup in the United States Tag Team Invitational, where the winner gets a shot at the NWA United States Tag Team titles at NWA 75. So this first match, we got Daisy Kill and Talos taking on Magic Inc., which is Magic Jake Damas and James, I think it's James Draken. I'm not sure. The name came really quickly. James is actually a heck of a talent. Cannot wait to see more of him in the future. But end of the day, after a big old choke slam by Talos, your winners, Daisy Kill and Talos, moving on to the next round. We then get another DJZ segment in which we're seeing one of the Page sisters getting an NWA World title shot in the future. We are getting Denzel Mims versus Blake Troop next week. And we are getting BFT versus La Rebellion for NWA 75 Night 1, where the winners take on Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch for Night 2, which, yeah, that's pretty interesting. We then get an interview with the Mortons. Pretty much saying, yeah, who did our last opponent ever beat? With Ricky pretty much saying, yeah, I got laid today. It's a good day. Pretty much hyping up Kerry Morton. And, yeah, that's that. It's a very cringe interview, and I wish I did not see it. We then get an interview with BFT, where Aaron Stevens pretty much says, yeah, not really concerned about Night 2. We're focused on Night 1. He hypes up La Rebellion. But if you remember how your reign started, it started with a low blow on me. So, for NWA 75 Night 1, it's going to be some retribution for that. So, interesting story. We'll see how that goes. Next up, it's the other half of the bracket for the NWA United States Tag Team title Invitational, as the Fixers take on the Spectaculars. Now, Fixers early on used their power to overcome their opponents. Spectaculars definitely get some stuff in, but ultimately, while the ref is out, Matt Vine, who is the Fixer's new associate, attacks Rush Freeman. We then get a big old sandwich between the two monsters in the middle of the ring. So your winners, moving on, the Fixers. We then get a Vampiro interview, which definitely interesting. He's around. He's saying, yeah, I'm here to take La Rebellion to the next level while they are feeling high on their tag team title reign. I can make it better. I can put them over the top. Saying BFT sounds like a sandwich. And he's here to take La Rebellion down the right path. Yeah, definitely a bit of an interesting promo. Bit rambly, but whatever. Next up, a Matt Cardona vignette. That's right, Matt Cardona back after a 6 month absence from the NWA. Pretty much saying, yeah, I was tasked on saving the NWA, and I let everyone down. When I won the title, I then got hurt, had to relinquish it on my show. I fought back, and I lost to Tyrus. The entire Cardona family left me. But this isn't the end of me, because at NWA 75, it's going to be the Matt Cardona Open Challenge. And it doesn't matter who my challenger is, because at NWA 75, it's the start of Chapter 2 of Matt Cardona and the NWA, which, nice little promo there. Definitely excited to see what Cardona does in the NWA. And maybe he regains the title he never lost. Fingers crossed. And Fine Alamo in our main event. We got the NWA Women's TV title on the line, as Samantha Starr challenges Kenzie Page. And this was a pretty straightforward matchup. Samantha Starr using more of her power, Kenzie Page using more of her finesse and speed. Kenzie Page blocked a DDT attempt into a cutter to retain her title. And honestly, this was a pretty solid show. A lot of good wrestling, and lots of good setup for NWA 75, which I definitely can't wait for. And for Alamo, we got AEW Dynamite, which features Blood and Guts, which we'll get to. We kick off with the FTW title on the line as we get Hook versus Jack Perry, which starts with Jack Perry using his usual Jungle Boy theme song, which I love. That then cuts and is replaced by some classical music, in which I do apologize, I don't know the name of. It is then revealed that Jack Perry dropped the Jungle Boy name, so he is now no longer Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Beginning of the match, Jack Perry definitely tried to avoid Hook as much as possible, but then eventually Hook caught up with him, got some real decent offense in. But then Perry, while Hook was checking on the ref, gets the FTW title, clobbers Hook with it, and then a pinfall. and your winner and new FTW champion, Jack Perry, which I'm surprised it's no one from like the former Team Taz and now Hook's Lost. Gonna be interesting to see what they do with Jack Perry going forward, because I definitely think we're gonna be seeing some stuff from him. We then get some footage of a secret meeting between Don Callis and Chris Jericho. They're obviously talking about their relationship in the middle of a restaurant, which is interesting. The security guard then spots the interviewer and stops the feed, which we'll get to that in a minute. We then get our latest Guys Night Out story with Adam Cole and MJF, with Cole bringing MJF to a local Chinese place to help him face his fears of spicy food, in which, yeah, I'm there too, MJF, I feel ya. They then get some spicy chicken, which is too much. They think, oh, let's get some drinks. They think it's water. They comment to their server that, yeah, this water tastes weird. The server then says, yeah, this isn't water. It's 100% alcohol. In which, I think that's kind of illegal, but that's just me. I don't think anything should be 100% alcohol. But, you know, what do I know? I'm not exactly an alcoholic. Then they comment on how the server looks like both of their opponents for later on, which we'll get to. And then they go to hit a double clothesline on the waiter, which that last shot of the got me, man. This relationship is so good. I'm gonna be so sad when either one turns on one another. In which I know they said they're not gonna, but you know, whatever. Then we get a pretty quick squash match from Dr. Britt Baker and Kayla Sparks with the Lockjaw. We then go to an MJF Adam Cole interview backstage, and they have some gifts for each other. MJF got him matching tights, and Adam Cole got him matching jackets. And Adam Cole has another surprise he's going to reveal right now, as we have the final match in the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament, as Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara take on MJF and Adam Cole, who Cole comes out to a very odd combination of MJF and Adam Cole's music, in which I don't love. Like, the idea is solid, but the execution wasn't it. We then get Chris Jericho out. He's on commentary for the night. And then before the bell rings, we get a dance-off. Like, no joke. They legit started playing music, and not even theme music. It was just this weird generic dance music, and they just... It's weird. Like, I will say this, it was unexpected, it was hilarious, it was cringe, but who am I to say I don't dance? And then, yeah, right before the bell rings, Garcia and Guevara attack MJF and Cole. Bell then rings, and they just start hammering each other. It's a nice little back and forth matchup, with each side getting enough in. And then finally, they do it. They hit the double clothesline for the victory. Moving on to not this weekend's Collision, but next weekend's, to face FTR, MJF, and Adam Cole. We then get a little moment where Cole has the AEW World title. starts looking at it, starts thinking. MJF notices this, pretty much saying, "What are you doing? Give me that." And then Cole's like, "Yeah, I was meant to just giving you to that. I was not meaning anything by this." And they do hug it out, but then they stay on MJF's face, which is really serious. So, more than likely a turn is coming. We then get Jericho up off commentary team. He's going to go console his guys. They see each other on the ramp. And then Guevara and Garcia just walk past him, which, honestly, this JS breakup storyline, it's breaking my heart a little bit. Like, I will admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the JAS. I definitely, it's pretty much a discount inner circle at this point, but, like, this is making me care about this, which is, it's interesting. We then get FTR coming out, and they have a stare down with their new challengers. So, yeah, that's fine. Then we get an interview from the Best Friends, Chris Statlander, Darby Allin, and Nick Wayne, in which we see Statlander has an upcoming title defense. Best Friends are going to be in the Ring of Honor Tag Team title match this coming Friday. And Darby Allin and Nick Wayne are in the what is it? The Rampage Rumble, which is going down on Friday. So, sorry, I probably won't be covering it. And Darby pretty much says, "I know Swerve's going to be in the Rumble, so my goal is clearly to take him out, and then I'm going to win the Rumble itself." Then he turns to Orange Cassidy, who he pretty much asks, "Look, I got a friend here in AEW. I want him to get a title shot against you. It's AR Fox," which it is revealed that next week AR Fox is going to get an international title shot against Orange Cassidy, which, honestly, that's great. Can't wait to see that match. And final Alamo for the week. We got a heck of a way to finish up, as it's Blood and Guts, in which, if you don't know it, it's pretty much War Games, where it's 2 rings surrounded by a cage. Pretty much 2 teams of 5. They alternate entrances. And the match doesn't officially start until all 10 men are in the ring. And then winner wins by pinfall or submission. And honestly, these guys brought it. Everyone's going through some stuff, including into glass, tables, thumbtacks, in which Matt Jackson poured from the top of the cage, which is crazy to think about. About halfway through the match, Claudio and Pac accidentally bump into one another, so they get into a little bit of a shoving match. Pac is pretty much like, "Yeah, I'm done." So he grabs a couple of bolt cutters and cuts his way out of the cage. He leaves. A little further down, Don Callis pulls his Takeshita out of the match, considering he's seeing the writing on the wall. And then we get multiple submission spots, which is interesting. Then we get the Elite cuffing Mox to the ropes, taking out Claudio. Then Adam Page brings in a chain, ties up Wheeler Yuta in the ropes and the chain. It looks like he's maybe not going to submit, but then Moxley himself submits to save his partner, which very, very interesting way to end the show. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where they go with this Blackpool Combat Club Elite feud, in which, honestly, I think it's done. Like, this is where you gotta finish it. No stadium stampedes, no whatever else. I think this has to be it. So, that's what happened in the week of pro wrestling. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you liked about the first part of the week in pro wrestling. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to do my predictions for Death Before Dishonor before the show. Sunday I'm going to cover the rest of the week in pro wrestling. So that's Impact, MLW, Ring of Honor, and Collision. Sorry, no SmackDown and no Rampage. I'm going to probably save that till next week. And then Monday, I'll cover Death Before Dishonor. So, hope everyone enjoyed. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.